Before we begin, there's something most people never stop to examine. Every one of us is taught, shaped, and influenced before we truly understood what we were actually receiving. And because of that, not everything that formed us is right. For some, it started with parents. For others, guardians, relatives, and for many, unfortunately, there was no real guidance at all. But no matter where you came from, you were shaped by people who were still figuring things out themselves. And this is important. The reason what you received was incomplete, misaligned, or just wrong is not always intention. It is condition. People do not always see clearly, even when they think they do. You can only pass down what you know, and if what you know is incomplete, what you pass down will be incomplete. So now you have generations repeating things they never questioned, passing down patterns they never examined. And even well-meaning people can be influenced by environments that are already misaligned. So what you received was not perfect instruction. It was filtered understanding. A mixture of truth and error shaped by limitation, lack of knowledge, inherited patterns, and influence. And this is where everything changes. At some point, it becomes about what you choose to keep, what you choose to continue, what you choose to defend, and what you choose to excuse. Then comes the system. You are taught how to operate, how to follow instructions, how to function within them, but not always how to discern, not always how to examine what is shaping you. Then your environment steps in. It starts close, family, household, then it expands. Friends, peers, then even wider. Communities, social circles, and beyond that, culture, entertainment, trends, and entire nations, all reinforcing a certain way of thinking. And somewhere in that process, something changes. You stop asking what is true, and you start asking what is accepted, what gets approval, and what keeps you included. Every layer teaches you something. Family teaches you what is normal. Friends teach you what is acceptable. Communities teach you what is expected. Culture teaches you what is celebrated. Entertainment teaches you what is desired. And if none of these are rooted in truth, then everything shaping you is slowly pulling you further away from the truth and further away from the person you were meant to be. So now, without even realizing it, you begin adjusting yourself, not based on what is right, but based on what is rewarded, what gets attention, what gets approval. And when enough voices say the same thing, it starts to feel like truth, even when it is not. And this is where it goes deeper. If truth is not leading you, something else is. Approval, pleasure, money, comfort, attention, fear. Anything that replaces truth eventually becomes what you follow. And most people never question it because it feels normal. But normal is not truth. And today, this is constant. There is no off switch. Social media, entertainment, opinions from everywhere, constant distraction, constant noise. You are always being shaped every single day. And many people no longer know how to sit still long enough to examine themselves honestly because distraction has become a lifestyle. So by the time you finally stop to think, you are no longer starting from truth. You are starting from a mixture. Ideas you didn't choose, habits you didn't question, patterns you did not build consciously. And if you never stop to examine those things, you begin living automatically, reacting instead of discerning, consuming instead of understanding, escaping instead of confronting. Nobody warned you that you were born into a system designed to distract you, weaken you, and pull you away from the truth. This is not neutral ground. You are overstimulated and underdeveloped. Constant entertainment, constant scrolling, constant noise, but very little examination, very little discipline, and very little stillness. If your life has no resistance, you will have no strength. Modern culture trains people to avoid discomfort, avoid correction, avoid discipline, avoid suffering. But strength is not built through comfort. You do not discover identity by chasing approval. You establish it through truth, through examination, through discipline, and through conviction. The most dangerous thing in the world is when wrong begins to feel normal, when destruction becomes entertainment, when corruption becomes celebrated, when darkness becomes rebranded as freedom. And even if you escape the world, you still have to face yourself, because the hardest battle is often internal. Habits, desires, pride, fear, anger, lust, comfort, impulse. Knowing better doesn't automatically mean living better. But disorder does not have to remain permanent. A life can be rebuilt. A mind can be renewed. Discipline can be developed. Clarity can return. But it requires honesty, responsibility, examination, correction, consistency, and the willingness to stop blaming everything around you while refusing to confront yourself. If the world is chaos, then the answer is order, not perfection, alignment, discipline, truth lived constantly. Most people will hear this and do nothing. But once you see it, you become responsible for what you do next. This is not about motivation, not performance, not appearances. This is about transformation from chaos to order.